Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Harakakdash. The bonus to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And Shalom to all the brothers in the wax, certain truth. Got this article, and it's funny because it's really ironic how basically with Trump, they've managed to bring in different forms of legislation, shifts that the same group of people now that they're fine with Trump doing these things, they would have had a problem if it was Biden doing the same thing. But Trump's really built that cult of personality, and that MAGA mindset where there's people that follow him like no matter what. Yeah, the clip of the guy like in the car praying to Trump. So he's got that kind of allure over a group of people, a subset of people. Even Jake are up there, trusting in this guy. But it's on El País. It says, how is the U.S. turning into a mass techno surveillance state? And yeah, you had from when Elon got in with Trump got in, sub Elon with Doge. You had news reports coming out like, oh, he's trying to get information from different departments passed through to him, so he could like centralize it, process it, and whatnot, and deal with that intel. And you go into it. They're utilizing these things. It says, government efficiency. So like shutting down certain programs and whatnot. Everyone was talking about US aid. That was a big one in the news for a minute. But now, and this is the thing, it's not even been that long. It's really been a matter of weeks to months to kind of have this be executed on, and you've already had it developed, you've already had it pushed. President Trump and his former star advisor Elon Musk have accelerated the deployment of a vast technological infrastructure that monitors the lives of millions of people. The system is focusing on immigrants for now. And yeah, it's similar with like in the UK where they had, track and trace. They set up, skeletons, basically scaffolding of these systems of centralizing a bunch of information, a bunch of different sectors of government talking to each other and whatnot, and then normalizing like having an app, and then checking in where you are X, Y, Z, and then with these things, that it basically just broke down a level of resistance, which is where you get to now where you've got the ID card app over here in the UK as well, which is something that's been resisted for ages. So these things, it's always a gradual process. So there's massive unauthorized scanning of social media. And yes, it's funny as well because the social media thing, that's been done on like even a job level. It's like nowadays, for a while anyway, it's like you sign a contract with like a company, then it will specify like if you post certain things on social media, they've got the leeway then to sack you, because you've had like not even examples, situations where it'll be like, people go online and do X, Y, Z, or they have some shit, some fucked up shit that happens, and then they'll just say, why you hired this person, blah blah blah, you should, and then people just sack them. So they're giving themselves a legal leeway to do it. And obviously, for brothers, what we're doing is if your boss finds out, it's already clear. It's like you're gonna get sacked anyway. But then with it being done on a governmental level, it's also being it's all of it being combined into one, and that's really like the beast system. What they're desiring to do with the chip is to have it all brought into one system, one big blob they can use basically. So there's this massive unauthorized scanning of social media analysis of biometric income, health, and social security data, interception of telephone communications, geolocation via mobile devices, tracking of car journeys using license plate readers. Since it's funny, I was watching one of those what's it called, the thingy, JCS Psychology, where they do the interviews of like suspects after they get caught. And then there was, there was a case that was from like 2013, 2008. It was like decades ago where they were using those things already. I remember it was like even over here, like they said updating, because you used to have the old CCTV. I remember over here in the UK, the top spot, London, top spot for surveillance. You used to have, what was that called, Crime Stoppers, where you'd have like the old low grade quality CCTV, and then with those, all you'd really see is a kind of like grainy figure. You might be able to, like, if you were to get the actual person, then you'd be like, okay, maybe his shoulders are kind of like that. He's whatever. But then generally, it's like that shit would be mythological for you to try and actually like see someone's face. But now that they upgraded, it was a big thing to upgrade to like cameras, especially on streets and whatnot, where you can see these things clearly. And even with it was fucking Tony Blair, like when he came in 97, as a little after he came in, he did speeding cameras as well and whatnot, and those would catch your license plate. So a lot of these things, it was developed over time, and then it's all of this is being amalgamated in the government. And that's the thing is over here it's pushed a lot further already, but then it's a lot of those things is in the US. It's being pushed because it's also fragmented by states. They're just gonna have to push it where they can bring it all together, under that one system, and that's really what, trimming a lot of the fat that they've done as soon as he came in. You can see it's building the scaffolding. It says since Donald Trump returned to the White House, the US government have been using these and other tools based on AI to monitor and persecute thousands of people without judicial authorization. And then it's going, direct to just, okay, you're done. Mostly immigrants, foreigners passing through, or students. In the last 4 months, Trump and his former star advisor, the tech tycoon Elon Musk, have, along with the private sector, accelerated the deployment of a massive techno surveillance state, and with the private sector. So it's these different companies that are partaking, and that's why what did you have with Trump's when he was getting inaugurated? You had Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk there, techno, the heads of the different companies. Because why? They're all, those big, huge companies are also part of providing that information and bringing it all together. You had, what was it, the Cambridge Analytica scandal. But that's, in reality, that shit's still been running. That's become the norm. Like, people aren't, like, as much as it was a scandal, now it's just kind of expected. People don't, whatever they're signing agreements to when they're interacting with things online, they're not paying attention to. And then all these different kinds of information is still being tracked. You got your Samsung smart fridge, you got your smart washing machine, you got your smart everything, your smart TV, your watching habits, your purchasing habits, what you utilize. All these things are, what's it called, man? Are developed and interact, like they're interacting with each other. They build huge information algorithms to kind of be like, okay, what, and as far as it's it's utilized for for monetizing people as well, capitalizing off them. But then as well, it's a matter of control and manipulating mindsets. Why is it everything's become so much more intensified? Because why? It's like even the information people engage with has been adjusted and adapted. It says surveillance in the US didn't begin with Trump, nor will it end when he leaves the White House. The foundations for the current state of techno-surveillance were laid over decades, with bipartisan support for policies that normalize invasive practices in law enforcement. Yeah, that's the thing. It's funny. It's like with the US, basically the end of so-called constitutional rights was the Patriot Act. It's like men are cooked from there. That's just why it's like they can just do all this, and then Trump could even just say, "Oh, it's Patriot Act. This is for the national security." Then the judges can't say a goddamn thing. Says what? The military and border control, says the Bahraini civil rights activist Esras al-Shafei, who's been studying this issue for years, in a conversation with El País. Oh no. This system is fueled by large budgets allocated to intelligence agencies as well as private providers, all under the pretext of national security and crime prevention. Companies like Palantir, Anduril, and Geo Group are providing Washington with digital tools to build this entire surveillance infrastructure. Trump continues to add layers to this system. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed in April that it's using a tool called Babel X to collect social media information about travelers. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like what what was it? The NSA, the National Security Agency. They met like it was 2007, 8, 9. I don't even know. It was forever ago when it was exposed. Oh, they're spying on U.S. citizens. Blah blah. Like that's the thing, is a lot of these they've basically been broadcast and showcased, but it's a matter of even with that, people are like lax towards it. But really, what can you do? What the fuck can you do? Confirmed in April, it's using a tool called Babel X to collect social media information about travelers who may be subject to increased surveillance. According to the agency itself, ICE, for its part, has acknowledged using another program, SocialNet, which aggregates data from 200 sources, including Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and dating apps. Fucking even dating apps. Yeah, I think I saw an article that said that the cartels down in Mexico were apparently using dating apps to like locate and kidnap people. Is fucked. So it's like even having your data online in all these places, people have been aware of it, but generally lax. It's like even with Facebook, you got people with their full name, their job, where they live, saying shit on Facebook that will get them backlash, with their whole name attached. Same on Twitter, same on all these platforms anyway. But then it's over here in the UK where you've had people getting legal ramifications for that, and then now it's being outsourced to the US as well. That same thing's being pushed through. It's funny with these things. You saw it with like the whole social credit score system in China. Everyone's like, oh, China this, China that, and now the so-called super liberal, I'm gonna drain the swamp, gonna act the super rebel. He's fighting against a deep state. Trump is establishing the system because why? It's really the agenda of the elite. They're the ones pushing these things through. It says Washington officially recognizes simply finding anti-Semitic activity on feeds such as protests and the massacre in Gaza is enough for authorities to deny asylum or citizenship. U.S. officials are also being encouraged to report their colleagues if they detect any anti-Christian bias, according to an executive order signed by Trump in February. Using social media surveillance to intimidate, harass, alienate, deport, imprison, or arrest is antithetical to many of the principles on which democracy is founded. But yeah, all of that is that was for an era, for a time, and now is really everything being hemmed in and secured, man. They're trying to establish that rulership, man, that leadership where these elites are thinking they're gonna have people tagged and bagged, and then they'll be able to enact their desires with full the ability to indulge themselves to their heart's content, man. To the heart's content. Yeah, heart's content. That's really what you see being pushed. And it's funny as well because of how what is it, engrossed or absorbed people are becoming these different political parties. You know, people are losing their mind over, you know, various issues, going online, screaming at each other, you know, trying to uppercut people in the street over these things. Then it just means that, you know, when it's your party doing it, then they get a free pass. It's like people were like saying, oh, it doesn't matter what Kamala Harris is policy is or what she wants to do, but just go out and vote for her because she's not Trump. And you know, same in reverse as well with Trump, where it's like, you know, those goddamn libs, those dams, and then, you know, people go out. Then when he gets in there, so, you know, just feeling like, oh yeah, we won, our team won. That, you know, whatever gets passed through. Same thing with Labour over here, man. Labour got in, everyone was like, yes, Labour's back. But then lo and behold, what policies are they doing? They're doing cuts, they're trimming. They're spending on the military. People are hella upset. Now they're like, oh no, I'm done with politics. It's funny as hell. But the truth of the matter is what? Is all these things have basically been established. It's all distraction, man. And a big part of that distraction is from them, you know, locking in on their system, man. Locking in on what their desires are. Read this, was it Revelation 13 and 16? And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So yeah, it's everyone, the whole system, all layers getting dealt with, man. These guys that you're looking up to as celebrities, or, you know, what seem like gods on earth, man. Black excellence and whatnot. It's the reason Diddy's, you know, right now he's fighting for his fucking life out there. You know, despite being able to operate like a god for a little while. It's because why? It's they're, you know, he's not on that level. He's still just, you know, he's basically gonna be bagged and tagged too. Everyone else on the lower level, they're gonna be dealt with a certain way, even though, you know, you might have riches, you might have certain status, but unless you're amongst that elite caste, then it's you know, it's not gonna run. And this whole system is meant to be all encompassing, man. Everything's gonna be underneath it. That's what their desire is, man. So all that info, all these different systems, internet, social medias, bills, financial data, all these things is all coming under that system, man. That's what they desire. And then they're having, you know, AI is sending out here with total control, man. Being like, okay, this guy said this, you know, they rescind him of his rights, man. Disintegrate him, man. Yeah. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom.